Hi everybody, welcome back. So in this video we will take a look at the envelope features and the BMI parameter. So let's begin with the envelopes. So this feature is quite easy to use. This window allows us to set the envelope for each of the triggered samples, and it's highly customizable. So to move an envelope point, we can click on the point we want to move and drag it. We can also add new points by clicking on the black background, or we can also delete points we want to delete by holding Shift and clicking on that point. And we can also set the curvature between any 2 points by holding the Option key and click and dragging up or down. In addition to editing the envelope, we can also store 4 different envelopes in these storage slots. All we have to do is select the storage in which we want to save our envelope. We edit the current envelope to whatever we want, and then we click on the Store button, and then this allows us to switch back and forth between any envelope we want, and in a very quickly manner. Now let's take a look at one of the most important parameters in EC Sampler, which is the BMI dial. So BMI stands for Body Mass Index, which I know it's an unusual name to find as a sampler parameter, but in the context of corpus-based sampling, it seemed like a really good fit to me. So I'll hope you'll see why. So before we can understand what this parameter does, it's important to know what's going on under the hood in this device. So every time we load a corpus, EC Sampler automatically computes a table specifying which samples are closer in pitch to each of the MIDI pitch values, ranging from 21 to 108, which are all the MIDI pitch values available in an 88 MIDI controller, 88 key MIDI controller. This is what this table would look like, where each of these values is an ID for every single sample in our corpus, and they are ordered based on how close in pitch they are to every one of these MIDI pitch values. Now this is done in order for EC Sampler to know which samples would require the least amount of transposition to get any pitch. So the percentage of the closest samples to be used for every single pitch is determined by the BMI parameter. In other words, this determines what percentage of the selected samples will be used for every single pitch, which makes it possible to minimize extreme sample transpositions. So as you can imagine, if we were to set the BMI parameter to 100, we would be using all of the selected samples in our corpus, which would result in possibly extreme pitch transpositions, while a low BMI, let's say a BMI of 0%, would only use the sample that is the closest in pitch to whatever pitch we specify in our MIDI input. And this would result either 0 or a low BMI value would translate to a more naturally sounding corpus. So let's just take a quick look at how this actually works. So we can see that when we have a 0%, we always have the same sample for all pitches, while a value greater than 0 will choose a percentage of these samples for every pitch. So you can see that when it's on 100%, the quality of the sound is not as natural as when it's a low BMI value. Now, in the next video, we'll be looking at the remaining settings of Easy Sampler. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you there.